It started with the smell. At first, Mia thought it was just the old pipes in the apartment building. But every time her new roommate, Harper, came home late at night, the odor seemed stronger, metallic, almost like pennies in warm water. They had met through a roommate finder app. Harper was neat, polite, and paid her share of rent early. She worked in research, but never said exactly what kind. Mia didn't pry until the night she heard the scraping. It was past midnight. A dragging sound came from Harper's room, followed by the thud of something heavy hitting the floor. Then, silence. Mia froze in her bed, barely breathing. The next morning, Harper was all smiles, holding a mug of coffee like nothing had happened. But Mia's eyes kept drifting to the corner of Harper's room where a padlocked closet door stood slightly ajar. 2 days later, Harper left for work in a rush. Mia couldn't resist anymore. She picked the lock with a bobby pin, her hands trembling. Inside was a single duffel bag. She unzipped it. Photographs. Dozens of them. All women. Some smiling, some terrified. Every picture had a date and location scribbled on the back. And at the bottom of the bag, a small stack of missing persons flyers. Mia's blood ran cold. She stood there in the dim light of Harper's room, the duffel bag still unzipped on the floor, her phone vibrating in her hand. It was a text from an unknown number. Close the closet, now. Her mind raced. Was Harper still in the building? Watching her? She darted to the window, nothing but the street 3 stories below. She quickly shoved the flyers and photos back into the bag, zipped it, and shoved it into the closet. Her fingers fumbled with the padlock, heart pounding so loudly it felt like Harper might hear it from across town. The lock clicked shut just as she heard footsteps in the hallway. Mia? Harper's voice was calm, almost cheerful. You home? Mia forced herself to sound casual. Yeah, just making lunch. Her hands were slick with sweat. The footsteps stopped outside her door, then moved toward the kitchen. Harper's voice floated in from there. Oh, we're out of coffee filters. I'll run to the store. The front door closed. Mia didn't waste a second, she grabbed her bag, phone, and keys, bolting out of the apartment. She didn't even bother locking the door behind her. She ended up at a coffee shop 3 blocks away, sitting in the farthest corner, hands still trembling. She debated calling the police, but her thoughts were a mess. What would she even say? My roommate has creepy photos and missing person flyers? Without solid proof of a crime, they might just tell her to move out, but then she remembered one of the flyers. A girl named Natalie Cummings. She'd seen Natalie's face on the local news just weeks ago, missing for over a month. Mia searched the name on her phone. The first result was a news article, authorities still searching for missing college student, 22. The location listed on the flyer matched the one scribbled on the back of Natalie's photograph. That was enough. She called the non-emergency police line, her voice shaking as she explained what she'd found. The dispatcher's tone shifted the moment Mia mentioned the flyers. Stay where you are, they instructed. An officer will meet you there. Do not go back to the apartment. The officer who arrived, Detective Carla Ruiz, had a calm but serious demeanor. She took Mia's statement, jotting down every detail, the smell, the noises, the closet, the duffel bag. You did the right thing, Ruiz said. If what you're telling me is accurate, your roommate may be connected to multiple missing person cases. They didn't waste time. Within the hour, Ruiz and 2 uniformed officers were at the apartment. Mia waited in the hallway, pulse hammering, as they knocked on Harper's door. No answer. The landlord unlocked it. The place was eerily quiet. Harper's room was immaculate, too immaculate. The closet was locked again, but Ruiz had brought bolt cutters. The officers cut the lock and opened the door. The duffel bag was gone. Either she came back before we got here, or she never left town, Ruiz muttered. We'll issue a bolo. Mia felt her stomach drop. So she knows I found her stuff? Ruiz didn't sugarcoat it. Yes. And that means you could be in danger. We'll put you in temporary protective housing until we locate her. That night, Mia was moved to a small, nondescript motel on the outskirts of the city. An officer sat in a parked car outside, keeping watch. Mia barely slept, every sound outside making her jump. By morning, Harper still hadn't been found. On the second night, Mia's phone lit up again, another unknown number. This time, the message read, "I thought we were friends." Her stomach twisted. She immediately showed the message to the officer stationed outside, who relayed it to Ruiz. Within hours, police traced the number, but it was from a prepaid burner phone, purchased just a day earlier. That same day, a hiker stumbled upon a shallow grave in a wooded area 40 miles north of the city. Inside was the body of Natalie Cummings. The cause of death, blunt. The cause of death, blunt force trauma. Near the body, wrapped in plastic, police found another duffel bag. Inside, more photographs. Many of the women had already been identified as missing persons from different states. And in the middle of the stack was a photo of Mia, taken through the cracked doorway of her own bedroom. The discovery changed everything. Mia was now officially listed as a potential target, and Harper as the prime suspect in what was quickly becoming a multi-state homicide investigation. The press caught wind of the case, dubbing Harper the Collector because of her disturbing archive of victim photographs. For days, Mia lived under tight security, afraid to even step outside. But Harper still wasn't caught. Then, on the fifth night, a dark sedan was spotted idling across from Mia's motel. When officers approached, the driver sped off, leading them on a high-speed chase through the outskirts of town. The car eventually crashed into a ditch. The driver fled on foot, but was tackled by officers a few hundred yards away. It was Harper. At the station, Ruiz and her team questioned Harper for hours. She claimed the photographs were part of a psychological research project studying fear responses. She denied killing anyone, insisting she'd simply collected images of women for her studies. But the forensic evidence told a different story. Harper's fingerprints were found on the duct tape used to bind Natalie Cummings, and her handwriting matched the notes on the backs of the photographs. Even more damning, soil samples from Harper's boots matched the gravesite. When confronted with the evidence, Harper's composure cracked. She leaned forward, eyes cold, and whispered to Ruiz. Mia was supposed to be next. Harper was charged with multiple counts of first-degree murder, kidnapping, and unlawful imprisonment. Mia testified at the trial, her voice shaking as she described the night she opened the closet. The prosecution used her account, combined with the physical evidence, to paint Harper as a calculated predator who selected her victims, stalked them, and kept trophies of their fear. The jury deliberated for less than 3 hours before returning a guilty verdict on all counts. Harper was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Even with Harper behind bars, Mia never moved back to that apartment. She changed her number, her hair, and even her daily routines. The metallic smell still haunted her in unexpected moments, passing a construction site, walking into an old building. She had survived, but she knew the truth. If she hadn't opened that closet when she did, her photograph might have been found in another shallow grave, with a date and location scrawled on the back. And somewhere in the prison system, Harper was probably still smiling, imagining her collection growing, even if only in her mind.